Here we are at the end of the first day of commentary, most likely.
Don't ride the broom! Aces is the big stack and it's all in right now, and this guy's saying the last hand of commentary? Really?
It's the last hand of commentary. We're going to be here all night now.
There's going to be a bad beat now. I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you. If there's a 3-burger in there... Oh my God!
What have you done?
I jinxed us all. Actually, little do they know, I want to be here all night. I like commentating.
Jonathan? Why?
Why?
I'm also going to have a few book signings at the D&B Poker booth. I have a new book coming out, Mastering Small Stakes No Limit Hold'em, and it's going to be a great book. Well, it is a great book. I already know it's finished, but I think everyone's going to love it. So check it out. You can probably get it on Amazon at this point. Hello, everyone. We made it to Las Vegas. Today we are commentating with this character. Do you have any words for the fans at home?
Don't quit your day job.
Here we are at the end of the first day of commentary, most likely.
Don't ride the broom! Aces is the big stack and it's all in right now, and this guy's saying the last hand of commentary? Really?
It's the last hand of commentary. We're going to be here all night now.
There's going to be a bad beat now. I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you. If there's a 3-burger in there... Oh my God!
What have you done?
I jinxed us all. Actually, little do they know, I want to be here all night. I like commentating.
Jonathan? Why?
Why?
I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I don't have any friends.
Hey.
Still hang out after.
Ace on the turn.
Ace on the turn.
That's just sick.
I don't think the ace is coming on the turn. It is a jack on the turn.
It could be close to the end anyway.
Because now, whoever's shortest...
have 9 million left.
Right. Short stack's going to be pretty short. So anyway, very fun day.
You have 9 million?
The sweat is so real right now.
Looking forward to coming back in a few days to do it
Look
again.
at him smiling.
Yeah, like if you give me, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
He's giving me directions.
No, I was saying once you point me in the direction you want to go, I'll drive the truck there. I'm just a bus driver.
He is the best bus driver I've ever seen.
I'm just a bus driver. That's all I do. I just take you where you want to go.
We're commentating today the $3,000 six-handed tournament. They're right over there. And Chris Moorman, at the exact moment, has probably about 90% of the chips three-handed. His opponents have 10 big blinds or so, and he has about, I don't even know how much, 100 something. That's nice. He had aces 3 times, and he made quads.
Queens twice.
Queens twice. But
made sets both times.
Most importantly, he was 1 card away from being out of the tournament in, like, what, 5th? 6th?
So, I'm going to just tell you guys really quick. If you're not going to listen to Jonathan for your poker knowledge, first of all, you're not smart. But if you're not going to listen to him, just do what Mormon does. Get aces 3 times and get queens twice and make sets on those and make quads once. You'll do fine at the final table.
Just get good cards.
It's Mormon. He's 31 and can't drive. Oi!
Today is my final day in the analysis booth, at least for a week or so. And today we're doing $10,000 horse. It's a hell of a final table back there. We have, at the final table, Dale Negreanu, Jason Mercier, Anthony Zeno, David Bach, and a few other great players. I've been studying Dale Negreanu's videos on horse. I learned a thing or two about Raz today. I'll sum it up. Basically, the best draw, the best 4-card draw on the 5th card is typically the favorite. So that hand should be raising, which is kind of interesting. So if you're sitting there with King 6, 4, 3, 2, and your opponent has 9, 8, 7, 6, 4 for a made 9, I think you're a decent favorite, which is kind of interesting. I didn't learn much else. But anyway, I'm looking forward to giving some analysis on these games. That should be a lot of fun. So yeah. Tomorrow, finally, after being in Vegas for about a week, I'm going to play some No Limit Texas Hold'em. Tomorrow is a $5,000 buy-in tournament, and I am looking forward to getting in the action.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2017 World Series of Poker coverage here on Poker Go. Ali Najad, joined by poker author and professional Jonathan Little. And we are here for the $10,000 horse event, which has really produced an exciting final table.
This event always brings out the best players in the world, and that's exactly what we have at the final table today. I'm incredibly excited to have the opportunity to watch it.
30 and 60,000 are the blinds right now with a 7,000 ante, and your chip leader is Eric Rodewig, who is seated in seat number 8. Just a short time ago, we lost our 9th player at the final table, Anthony Zeno from Boston, Massachusetts, and there's some tightness there between the top 3 stacks. Don Z, a longtime cash game professional who I've played mixed games with as well, and is a fixture known to just about everybody in the poker community who spent any time playing cash games in Los Angeles or Vegas. And then in 3rd and 4th, you have Jason Mercier and Daniel Negreanu. Those, to me, the 2 biggest names jumping off the card.
It's about 2:30 a.m. here at the Rio. They are still playing horse. David Bach versus Eric Rodewig. You may not know either of the players, although you probably should. David Bach has won the $50,000 buy-in horse tournament, and he actually won a bracelet in Dealer's Choice already this year. And Eric, I believe, won either 10K Stud 8 or better or 10K Omaha 8 or better, one of the two, a few years back. So both players have bracelets. They've been battling it out. Daniel Negreanu took, I believe, 6th or 7th, I think 6th. And Jason Mercier, I believe, took 5th. So those were the other big names at the table, although really everyone at this table had a lot of results, either a lot of results in tournaments or a lot of cash game results. So anyway, it's been a lot of fun, but it is late. 2:30 is late for me. Tomorrow, I'm going to wake up and have an interview with Card Player, and then I'm going to go play the $5,000 buy-in 6-handed event. It's my first tournament of the series. I'm super excited about it. I made a point to play all of the 5K and 10K No Limit Hold'em events that are going on, so I'm ready to get in the action. Here we are at the start of the $5,000 6-handed event. We have some coffee. We are ready to go. Seems like a fun table. And here we are at the end of the day. I had a pretty great day. I ended up with about 5 starting stacks, and I am looking forward to playing tomorrow. Today was a lot of fun. I lost a bunch of hands, I won a bunch of hands, but we ended up on top. Here we are, the morning of day 2. This is a picture of me playing day 1 of the $5,000 buy-in tournament. I was having a lot of fun. We had a great table. There's one player who plays a lot of poker, but he was gambling a bit. He ended up shoving all in blind for about 15 big blinds, and I had King 9 offsuit on the button, and I elected to shove. And now that might be a little bit optimistic, and I think looking back it probably was. So even though he was shoving blind, I still think King 9 was a fold, so that's kind of an interesting thing to be aware of. Here are the day 2 chip counts for my table. As you can see, we have Daniel Negreanu, but he doesn't have very many chips. I'm excited to get to play with him. We also have Ian O'Hara, who I've played a decent amount with. He is not afraid to splash around, so it should be a lot of fun. I'm actually about to do a podcast. I have my setup here with this giant microphone. I am going to be on one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. I don't know if I can actually tell you which one it is yet, because it's not released yet. But I'm excited to be on it. They've had some of the best players in the game, and somehow I'm on. So that's today. Hopefully we can run hot. The first 2 levels of the $5,000 tournament today were absolutely wild. I chipped up pretty nicely early. I got a big overbet bluff through. Then I made a straight, and my opponent failed to pay me off, but it still created a nice image. And then I got to about 150,000. Then a little while later, a guy who decided he was just going to go nuts. He was playing sanely, then went nuts. He was playing a lot of hands, and I had already determined we were going to call and try to see lots of flops and try to flop good hands because he loves to jam. So that's what happened. He raised from the cutoff. I called in the small blind, the min raise. I called the min raise with King 10 offsuit. Normally not a hand you want to call with, but this was the spot to call. Big blind calls, it comes Jack 10-10. I check. I have king 10, so I have 3 of a kind. I check. Big blind checks. The guy bets 37,000 into a 10,000 pot. A little bit of an overbet. He only had about 4,000 behind, so I call. Turn was a 7 of clubs, so putting up a backdoor flush draw. I put him all in for the last 4,000. He thinks for about 4 minutes and then calls with queen jack of clubs. So he now has top pair and a flush draw. And the river was the ace of clubs, so I lost a big pot there. That put me down to about 60. Then I got moved to a new table where somehow 4 of the players were named John or Jonathan. That was always fun. I'm playing with Jonathan Jaffe. If you remember the World Poker Tour Tournament of Champions, he was at my table late in that tournament as well. He's always fun to play against. He got me with a 10-3 suited right off the bat. And then I got him with Jack 10 when I made 2 pair and got a very nice overpot bet in on the river. So we're splashing back and forth. And at the moment, I have about 95,000. I started the day with 117, so down a little bit. But after losing that relatively large pot where I had trips, I'm happy to still even be in the tournament. Well, I'm back at Palms Place, which means I busted the 5K. I actually had a pretty rough go of it today. Like I mentioned earlier, I mentioned it earlier. Played the big pot with King 10 versus Queen Jack on Jack 10-10. And after that, not a whole lot went great. I basically snuck in the money. I say I snuck in the money. I didn't do too much on the bubble. The bubble actually went very quickly. It was about 3 or 4 hands, so there wasn't really any time to do much on the bubble. And once we got in the money, I very quickly lost a flip with ace jack suited against pocket 10s. I actually flopped the ace and he rivered the 10. The dealer thought that was funny. He kind of laughed at me. And from then on I was relatively short. And how'd I bust? Eventually I had about 15 big blinds. Michael Mizrachi raised under the gun, and if you know anything about Michael Mizrachi, he likes raising a lot. Although this was actually his first hand at the table, which is pretty funny. Small blind, loose aggressive kid called, and I decided to shove the 15 big blinds. Mizrachi actually made it 2.5 big blinds under the gun. If he min-raised, maybe I could justify calling, but I think as he makes it bigger, I need to be more inclined to shove. But in reality, with my 15 big blind stack, I'm just shoving anyway, no matter what. So I shoved. Mizrachi instantly reshoved for about 100 big blinds. A lot. A lot. Actually, maybe it was 75 big blinds. Still a lot. The small blind thought for about 1 minute and then called it off with pocket jacks for his 70 big blinds. And Mizrachi had pocket aces. So pretty sweet play by him to raise under the gun and just like snap shove all in. The call with pocket jacks is pretty rough. It's a rough spot because first off, I could have something, right? Not that I'm really that relevant whenever you're talking about 300 big blinds, or a 300,000 chip stack, which was 75 big blinds. But I think he's probably supposed to fold the jacks there, because if Mizrachi's range is ace-king, queens, jacks, and 10s, you're roughly flipping. So do you really want to flip for boatloads of chips? And I think the answer is definitely no. Maybe he thinks his range is only like 10s, 9s, 8s, and ace-king, and ace-queen. If that's the case, then I guess you just have to call it off. But I think that's a spot where you should probably find some folds. It's not like Mizrachi's instantly jamming there with pocket 4s or ace-10 offsuit or anything like that. So pretty interesting hand that left Mizrachi what I assume must be the chip leader. He gets it done, and there's a good example of how he does it. So pretty fun hand. So anyway, tomorrow is an off day for me. I'm going to do a Float the Turn webinar in the morning. I'm getting a delivery from Whole Foods because I need some food. And I may go coach a student or two and have a business meeting or two. Then the next day is the $10,000 buy-in 6-handed tournament, but I'm also scheduled to commentate the $5,000 tournament I just busted. So I'm going to probably late register to the $10,000 tournament. I actually realized they start you incredibly deep stacked in these 5K and 10K events to where the vast majority of the players don't even show up until like the 6th level. Because whenever you buy in, you have 300 big blinds and nothing happens for like 4 hours. So I'm okay. I typically don't like skipping any part of a tournament series or a tournament, but I think it's certainly justifiable if I'm going to be able to commentate a World Series event, especially a prestigious one like the $5,000 6-handed tournament. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to late buy in for that, and we'll go from there.